Hello, guys. Welcome to this new edition of Mind Podcast. This is Aadit Kapadia, and I welcome you to another fascinating discussion. I have a lot of you guys have asked me that after the Hyderabad elections and stuff, are we doing a similar one from for Kerala? And I've always assured you we'll cover every issue in detail, and here I am talking about it. So with me to talk about Kerala, and I'm going to talk about the topic in a little bit, but let me first introduce my co-panelist, is Mr. Pradeep Nambiaar. He's a media PR entrepreneur based in New Delhi.
Namaskar.
He's from Kannur, Kerala. He's been associated with the Sangh, but he's also, observed Kerala elections as from a macro scale, where, from state level, assembly level to local issues for a long time. And he's a cultural consultant with IIM Himachal. So it's fascinating to get his perspective and what he thinks about it. So welcome to my podcast, Mr. Pradeep. So glad to have you.
Namaskar. Me also glad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's first get this out of the way. The major sort of discussion is because if someone were to just look at the Kerala election result, it would just look like LDF has done well and everything, right? But the reality is that the BJP, which was not even in the fray probably 10 years ago, right now, except for maybe one or
Exactly.
two pockets, is now in the fray. So if I were to ask you, and I will go into the numbers and all in a little later, but if I were to ask you, if you can give a brief overview of what do you think happened in Kerala?
Namaskar. And it's my pleasure to be with you all for this election, after this election in Kerala. As you rightly said, media and everybody claiming LDF made the major victory in the Kerala election. To be frank, when we are watching the numbers and the other number of seats and vote percentage, it's not the LDF, but to be frank, it's NDA who made the differences in these recent elections. We have all the database with us, and let me give you some peculiar things about Kerala scenarios. In Kerala, every assembly election as well as other elections, if right now it's LDF is rolling, so next election will be UDF. Every year there will be change in pattern. So if the people voters try with LDF one time, next time they vote for UDF. So it's continuing for almost for so many years, 20, 25 years. It's continuing.
So to add to that, whether it's assembly, national or state elections, Kerala elections are what we call revolving door. Ki 5 saal baad the door revolves to the opposition,
Exactly.
and then 5 years back it goes to the other combination. Right? And for our viewers,
The reason is that
no, just 1 second. I was like, I'll just expand what LDF and UDF is. LDF is the Left Democratic Front, which is a CPI, CPIM, and so forth. And UDF is the United Democratic Front of the Congress Party, the Indian Union Muslim League, the Kerala Congress Money, and it's a very odd sort of alliance with a avowedly Islamic party and avowedly Christian party, and then Congress. So it's a very interesting.
Yeah.
So I just
Yes,
had to put this out for our the viewers. But yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So this is how the people will vote and voting pattern will change. The reason is that people are fed up with either LDF or UDF. Now only the alternative choice for them is NDA or the BJP. Means BJP is the BJP is the main in NDA alliance. So with this, and there are some more other features to be discussed about Kerala pattern, the populations. Kerala is a population where almost 51 percentage Hindu, and the Christianity is almost 21 percentage. Rest another 18 to 20, 12 to 15% is Muslim populations. Because recently this year these details are little old one, but still this is the voting pattern. And this election, there were so many places in Kerala, there were no candidates at all for so many years. Some of the pockets were the communist pockets. They'll not allow any candidates to contest. But let us say this time, it's almost every place we put the candidates, whether they secured less votes, so that is immaterial. But there were threatened from communist people for last so many years that they'll not allow anybody to contest, either in the matter of from the Congress party or from the BJP. But this time
So,
there were, yes.
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Complete your point. Complete your point.
So this time we could put candidates in almost all the seats except some 5 or 6 places. Otherwise, all over Kerala there were candidates from NDA side, because there are some areas in, especially in Kannur districts and all, they'll not allow any other political party to survive or to work. That's the main agenda of communist people.
So we had a person, a contributor to Mindmakers, Godwin Joseph, who wrote this wonderful piece which analyzed the election, and he started with this one line saying the joke in Kerala in the last decade was that a RSS volunteer would do his routine exercises conducted in the temple grounds across Kerala, but will gain political maturity when he enters college and starts voting for either communist or left front, right? So that is the joke, that it was what dominated the politics of Kerala for 5 decades. But you were saying that it changed. So last time BJP made a history in 2016 when it won Nemom, or Rajagopal won the MLA seat, the veteran.
Yeah, first MLA from Kerala
From the,
history.
yeah, and before that, and Nemom is a part of the Thiruvananthapuram Lok Sabha, so where BJP has had a like all urban cities, it has had a base. But apart from Thiruvananthapuram, if I were to ask you, what areas? I have won the panchayat in the place where Swami Ayappa's hometown and so forth. Like I forget the name of the town. And
Palakkad, that is Pandalam. Ayappan's town is Pandalam.
Yes, Pandalam.
Pandalam.
Trust
We
me
got
to forget.
all.
Trust me to forget the name on record.
Pandalam last year we got only 7 seats, 2015, and this time we could secure 18 seats.
Lovely.
So we'll rule it's independent. And also Palakkad. And Palakkad. Actually, Palakkad we were ruling with other means. It was not independently ruling last 2015, but this time we could get to 28 seats. So we'll be ruling independently to that Palakkad. And there are places in Kerala, more than 25 places, where we could secure more than 30,000 votes. 30,000 votes, and we are the number 2 in so many places, and we lost some places in only for 1 vote. And actually, to be frank, there is a place at Thrissur where the previous 2015 vote was 33, and this time the vote was 320. Okay. Oh, wow. And the candidate was my friend. His name is Moti, but he lost for a single vote.
Oh wow! Yeah,
he made from 33 to 320.
But he couldn't go to 321.
321. So there are so many places we lost.
That's a fascinating thing, right? But you also have the sort of the Muslim Christian lobby. So the Muslim vote this time, there is about 25 to 30% Muslim vote that rallied behind the LDF, and then you have the Christian sort of the Syrio Malabar Church and so forth in central Kerala, right?
Yes.
So you have that region of Pala where Kerala Congress money is strong in that one Lok Sabha seat.
Yes.
And then, but then somehow left. When the wave is against the UDF, that vote goes to the left, or part of the vote goes to the left.
Vote goes left.
Not Mr. Mani's party. KM Mani's vote still stays with his party, but I meant the other vote, right? So how do you explain that dichotomy, right? Like, is it just done to keep the BJP out, or is there more to it and that we are missing?
Okay. Now the Kerala is changing from 2015, and especially this elections, there were candidates from Muslims, Christians, and we have members from Pandalam and all the things. We have Christian members who got elected as a councillors and means panchayat members who are Christians, who are closely associated with the church. There were church in those who are closely associated with church and all. So that's another situations in which is prevailing in Kerala. And let me also tell you, we have our national vice president is Sri Abdullah Kuti. He's from Kannur. So Abdullah Kuti was a key leader from CPM, and he knows you all the in and out of CPM and all the activities. Now Abdullah Kuti is national vice president of BJP. So now the scenario is changing. We have candidates, we have party workers, we have leaders, we have office barriers from different all the Muslim communities, Christian community, and all. So there is a change going to happen in Kerala definitely in the next coming assembly
So
elections.
the most, if you look at the municipal corporation, right, the
Yeah.
only saving grace for the UDF was the city, the Kannur municipal corporation, where they got a simple majority, and
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 also tell me when while discussing about Kannur,
huh,
we made our first entry in the Kannur
yes,
in
yes.
the first time of history. We could win one seat.
So
Shaiju.
exactly. So I was going to highlight that, and I'm going to. There is a piece that was
Yeah.
written by Kishore Narayan for Mindmakers. So I'm just going to show the seats to all our viewers so they can,
Yeah.
basically see what we are seeing. So if
Yeah.
they look at it, and I'll zoom in a little bit so that this is a little
Yeah.
clearer. But you can see in
Yeah.
Tiruvananthapuram, and this is on Mindmakers, guys. Please feel free to check it out. Godwin Joseph and Kishore's piece are there on Mind. If you look at Tiruvananthapuram, NDA is now firmly the second party in Tiruvananthapuram. But a lot of people seem to be asking this question, and Kishore also raises this: what will it take for BJP to cross the barrier in Tiruvananthapuram? Right? Is there a part of that people are thinking that they are still not the number one force, so a lot of the swing votes are going to the other side? Would you say that?
There are chances, possibilities. And regarding Trivandrum, let me tell you the other peculiar reason why Trivandrum and Cochin and other places, especially Thrissur, there was a cross voting from either from CPM to Congress as well as Congress to CPM. Okay, and there were many places in Kerala. There were only one candidates for both these people.
This is such an important point, because
Yes.
we talked about this, that there are places where UDF and LDF have one candidate, like, and
One
it's not
candidate.
officially
Yes,
one candidate,
exact.
but
That's
basically there's one
wherever the
candidate,
BJP. Yeah,
and the
there
cadres are
are.
told. Huh.
Yes, many places we can point out. And let us, if for Trivandrum, let us go through all the voting pattern and all. There were cross voting 100%, because our from that Trivandrum, that voting pattern, once you check the vote shares and all, there were cross vote, 100% cross votes in every places, especially Trivandrum and Thrissur, our uh, BJP's leader Gopalakrishnan, Advocate Gopalakrishnan could not win, and Trivandrum, yes, Suresh could not succeed. Because all this reason is that these people will, if they feel that BJP is going to win, they'll do the underlining all the cross voting patterns. So
So,
this made the things very
so here is the
terrible.
most surprising part for me, right? That
Yeah.
uh, because you had in Trivandrum, I think the BJP leader defeated a mayoral candidate by one vote.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yes. One.
And so that was a big, that was almost like a giant killer move. But if I were to translate this into assemblies, right, it is impossible to right now assume that in 6 months BJP is going to get a simple majority. That's just not going to happen in Kerala, right? But is the focus now to get at least 20-25 seats, so that you translate the gains made in these elections to that? Because would you say that BJP has about a 15, and I say BJP, but actually I should say NDA, because there is also the alliance with BDGS, right? And then
BDJs. Yeah.
other smaller alliances. Last time you had an alliance with Velapapalli Natis, and I don't know if that's going to happen this time or not, the SNDP. But so is the NDA targeting about 20-25 seats, that it has a great chance of winning?
Yes, let me tell you, for this panchayat, all this voting pattern and voting style is different from the assembly elections.
Right.
Panchayat will be small areas, voting will go on the personal relations and
Mm.
other things.
Yeah.
So we can't take this as the benchmark. Okay,
Yeah.
this was the same before in 2004, I think 2004, when
Mm.
EK Nayanar was ruling CM.
Right.
He was chief minister,
Mm. Mm.
and
Mm.
actually they could won the panchayat and all the elections. But
Mm.
immediately after the assembly elections, it was
Mm.
the Congress were in the ruling. So it happens in every place because panchayat generally the voting pattern is supporting to LDF, and also the because it will be the small issues, small areas, relationship wise and all things. The pattern will change. That's how the changing. Yeah, definitely there will be major things because as I told you, there are places where we could get more than 30,000 votes in minimum 25 places, and we were the number two in many more than 50 places. And let me tell you, 2015 we our NDA's seats were 1244, and this time we got more than 1600.
Wow.
So
That's almost a 20. That's a 25% jump.
25% number of seats, all
Yeah.
corporations and all. And
And, and,
Palakkad, we are
and what's more important for me, I think here is now it is in contention in many seats, right? Because a
yes,
lot of swing votes come automatically if the party remains to stay in contention, in those
contention.
seats. So Kanchi Ram, the thespian of BSP politics in UP, very famously said that पहला election हारने के लिए, to lose, the second election, दूसरा election हराने के लिए, you make sure the number two loses, you become number three.
Number two.
तीसरा election जीतने के लिए. So
Hmm.
2021 and 2024 is going to be BJP's third election on that accord.
Yes,
And
yeah.
that's what you'll see. Because it is a critical mass, right? Once BJP starts getting 10, 15, 20 seats, then it suddenly becomes in contention. And then people are like, oh my God, we can also vote for them and our vote will not be wasted. This whole concept of vote wasted, because BJP has faced that in Kerala and in neighboring Tamil Nadu, both which go to
Yes.
polls in 6 months. Why should we vote
Hmm.
for BJP if it's not in alliance with any big formations?
True,
Because our
exactly,
vote will be
exactly.
wasted. Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that is the thing. But the cross voting is true. But I want to ask you a very fascinating thing that I noticed when I was analyzing the numbers. I saw the LDF won the Ponani municipality. Now Ponani municipality is won traditionally by the Muslim League. Right?
Muslim votes. Yeah.
Right. And it
Yes.
is it's like a walkover for UDF. Like they have been winning the
UDF.
Ponani Lok Sabha seat for like, I don't know. I think it's delimited. Now it's called something else, and I'll check. But what
Yeah.
do you think of this?
Uh, no, now
Oh, I'm sorry.
it,
It's still called Ponani, and Muslim League has been winning it since 1977.
77 for a because
Long time, long
almost
time.
20, 35, 40, 35, 40 years they are winning
Certainly
it from
longer
the
than I have been alive. So that's how I say.
me also.
Exactly,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Certainly
yeah.
longer than both of us have been alive. But how do you view this development? That Ponani going to the left front?
There are people from no. Let me also tell you some of the changes in the recent organization setup in regarding LD. If you take SFI or DYFI or any political any of the wings, head of the that organization will be one Muslim. So this is a Muslim, we will say in Malayalam, Prenanam. They'll give the seeds, they'll give the support, they'll give all the freebies to the Muslim communities and supporting them. And because all the support giving, even the schools, education systems, all the systems are in favor, and there will be whoever rules, the education minister will be one Muslim, irrespective of it's from the LDF or the UDF. Education minister and higher education minister will be always a Muslim minister. So this is how they support, and there are support from the Muslim communities, and they are getting freebies, they are getting all the they're enjoying the things from the LDF. So that's how the support. And also, let me tell you some of the other peculiar things of what happened this time. SDPI, that there was a group, fundamental group from Muslims. They were part of PDP, and night they will be SDPI, and night they will be DYF, and daytime they will be SDPI. That's how they work. So these are the
It's basically a rotating thing.
rotating things. Either there will be SDPI or the this SDPI people. Also, Muslim welfare group supported this time to the Congress, fundamental Muslim group, and they won so many seats. Even SDP also won so many seats in areas in Kannur and all. So these two things are making things little different. So coming elections will say that we'll get the exact picture how the Kerala is going. Another important things what I want to tell you is the going political issues in Kerala, corruptions. There were issues with smuggling, gold smuggling. Even now, the CM's private secretary is already under jail for more than principal secretary, and in jail more than 2 months. And yesterday, the interrogation of going on with his private secretary, first APS and private secretary is going on. So corruptions at the peak in Kerala, whether it's in the form of supporting the Muslims, distributing Quran, and one minister, KT Jalil, is getting Quran from Saudi Arabia without the permission from the external affairs or the ministry of areas in the country, in Kerala states. And there were allegations in the scam. It's everything is scam based, even including rationings, everything. So the state exchequer is in the big soup, and there were issues, education systems, whether it is education, whether it is municipal elections or all the things. It's in the big corruptions, and the main accused is in all these things is no one else other than Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. He is a main accused.
Uh, so, here's the interesting part, right? That the BJP has come up with 1,600 seats and with a vote share of almost 15% in places, right? And it's so basically the victories. Pandalam is in Patnamthitta, right? The epicenter of the whole Sabarimala movement, and obviously Palakkad.
Yeah.
So,
Patnamthitta.
Patnamthitta, yeah, Patnamthitta. So my friend Godwin Joseph on Mind said this wonderful thing, that the Pandalam Palakkad model, where the BJP has been ruling Palakkad since 2015, and the delivery has helped. So it is almost an incumbent vote. So one thing also that the BJP has to make sure is the places where they have got power or where they have been elected, to make sure that they are visible, the schemes are more visible, they are sort of ruling in a certain way, and they keep getting the pro incumbent votes on that. But he also said that appeasement politics and a very anti-CA stance by the UDF, LDF, and in a way there was a repeated demonization of Hindu beliefs also in some seats, that also helped galvanize some support in favor of BJP. Would you agree to that? Is that added on also?
Exactly. Actually, that Pandalam and Palakkad model we should try in the other places, and it's supporting as Pandalam. And also Shivagiri, the land of Srinarayana Guru, is as you know, the social reformer of Kerala. Even Shivagiri also we could win, and we'll be ruling that place also. That's the how the so this model to be worked in different areas of the states. That's how we could manage the rest of the things. And also, let me tell you also the other things which you that CA and other things. Do you remember that Kerala is the state where we protested in assembly where Saddam Hussein was hanged, and both LDF and UDF have supported Madani, who was to release from jail, who's still in jail. Hello.
Unbelievable. Sorry, I was on mute. I was
Okay,
trying to
okay.
react. No, no, I was trying to react, but I didn't even realize I was on mute.
Okay, okay.
No, no, it's
So we
unbelievable.
were the this is a state where there was a hartal and there was a strike where Saddam Hussein was hanged, and Madani, the criminal, both the LDF and UDF, they passed resolution in assembly to release Madani. Who's Madani? So the state is it's something different. This is a place where even there was a minister participated beef festival. They killed the cow beef at the in the middle of the main road, and they cooked and they distributed beef.
Unbelievable.
So so
Un-
these are the peculiarities of Kerala states,
yeah.
and this Ayyappa struggle
Yeah.
and Ayyappa strike,
Right.
and this time recently 2 weeks before uh, they put some changes in their what is the conditions for visiting Sabarimala.
Hmm.
They removed that ladies less than 50 should can visit. They made the restrictions, and they the how they tolerated, how they had
Hmm. Hmm.
struggled for the Ayyappa strike in Kerala, different areas of the Kerala. So these all the things will answer. They will support. They will answer all this. The prayers will be fulfilled by the coming elections.
Hmm.
That's how, and all are waiting for that.
Absolutely.
And that there is a big deal, there's a big research to be done how the cross voting pattern to be changed, how to sustain that. That's how the next thing. Another important things I want to tell you is
Hmm.
there is a candidate by name Karat Faisal, who was a criminal gunde,
Hmm.
who
Hmm.
was independent candidates. He won the place, and LDF candidate got no vote at all in that area.
Hmm.
Zero vote for LDF candidates.
Really?
So yeah, that's in Kannur.
Yeah, and
So
also in the Kottayam region and other regions, there are 11 Christians that were and Pathanamthitta regions, 11 Christians elected on
elect.
BJP ticket,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Which
Yeah,
is a big,
BJP tickets
which is a big,
elected in.
which is a big difference from what the media wants to project. That Christians
Yes.
don't vote for BJP,
Yeah.
but Christians get
Yeah.
elected on BJP ticket. How does
And,
that work if they don't vote?
and of the 11, three are closely associated with the church, and they are the what is a church barriers. They are the part of organization team in that local church, local as well as a big church, Adirupada, and all the things will say that there is uh, there's a committee to protect means take welfare of the church activities. So they're the part. They are the Christians. So
Absolutely. So,
there were candidates.
in conclusion, in the last 10-15 minutes of this discussion, I want to talk about the road ahead. One of the things that people said that BJP does have to make an outreach, more outreach into the Elavas community, which is about 22% of Kerala, right? And maybe ramp up the or mend the relations with SNDP as well, who was there. So there is sort of a Hindu unity, because there is sort of a necessity to cross that 15% threshold, right? You have to get to like 20-22% to get a windfall of seats, right? So are we going to see some sort of a maneuvering in terms of allies and stuff as we get closer to the elections? Because everyone always buries their differences when we get three months away before the elections, right? So,
Exactly.
but
See,
yeah. Mhm. Go on.
with the recent patterns, as I told you, we were candidates from Muslim communities. There were Muslim ladies contested this time, especially in Malappuram and other places. There were Christian candidates, and now we have Christian councillors, we have Christian leaders, and so there is we have support from the different communities, different areas of the society, and all this Muslim community and the Muslim candidates, they are only for the country, the national interest. They are only for the growth of the nation. They are supporting the Modi government, nationalist spirit. They are. That's how uh, we could only get the support from the different areas and different community aspects of the different people. So there are a lot of things. There will be a lot of changes from the other aspects, and also the Irava communities, and it's a main deciding factors in some of the areas, the Travancore side and Kannur, this area, Malabar regions and all. There will be patterns. So we'll be, as you told you, we are winning ahead. There were growth, steady and strong growth for NDA is almost voting percentage is still working on minimum of 20-25%. There is a vote in the increase from that 1200 elected members. We reached almost 1600 candidate, 1600 candidates. I have some database with me where Gram Panchayat last time we were only 12 ruling. Now this time we are ruling 23, and block we were only 11 in 2015, and this time we were 37. And in generals we are ahead of both uh, LDF and UDF. Now UDF is almost done, and uh, BJP is the strongest opposition in many places, many of the areas in Panchayat, other Gram Panchayat, block and all. Because by the next elections, Congress will be the next elections, Congress
Mhm.
will be ruled out. Only the with the current scenario in
Yeah.
many places, as I told you, BJP NDA is oppositions in many major places in the all the panchayat and all the things. So there are lot of scope, lot of uh, activities taking place. We are in the right path with the help of nationalistic ideas, and with the help of other national leaders and other scenarios. We'll be definitely marching ahead, and we'll have the better place, better show in the upcoming assembly elections.
Assembly elections.
Minimum 15 to
Perfect.
20 seats
So
at
in
least.
conclusion, yeah, that's what you would say, 15 to 20 seats in the assembly elections of 2016, 2021. I'm sorry, I said 2016.
Yeah,
2021 is what
21.
BJP's goal would be. And then
Mm.
2024, you would almost have 3 or 4 Lok Sabha seats in mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, Pathanamthitta, Kasargod, Kannur, Tiruvananthapuram, those 4 regions are there. But who knows if there are any. A lot of places where the left was just getting the benefit of being not Congress. Now they have a challenger in the BJP. But would it be safe to say that the left in Kerala will recede like the left in Bengal has, or is the left in Kerala very different from the left in Bengal, and it will not go back the same way? Because in Bengal, we can comfortably say next year the left in Bengal is going to be completely very close to getting wiped out.
Yeah, the same left in Bengal, left in Kerala will have the same destiny, same result, same pathetic condition what is in there in the left in Bengal. Very soon, because there are corruption charges, corruptions, there were issues in the root level and all the things. People are shifting from CPM to Bajapa in almost every day. We have candidates who left the CPM and joined in NDA. So very soon, the coming years will be the end of Marxism in Kerala as well as in India. Very soon, by the
So
next election.
that's a very interesting note to end this podcast on. Before
Yeah.
before I end the podcast, we always have a tradition at Mindmakers that we recommend people that they can read something non-political, they can watch something non-political. It could be a movie, web series, book, anything. So, do you have that recommendation? Any recommendation for our viewers or listeners that you would like them to read and watch?
Watch movies on political,
No, anything non-political. I mean,
non-political.
it could be political also. It could be political
Mm.
also. But any
Okay.
recommendation you have, I'll give him. I actually didn't. That this is my fault. I didn't tell that I was going to throw this
No,
on
no
you.
issues, no issues.
But while he thinks about it, I'll give my recommendation. There is a
Okay.
a couple of things that I saw, very good documentaries on HBO about the elections and so forth. That one of them was on the 2000 election called the 2000 US possible election called Recount. It's an old documentary, but and it's heavily leaning towards the Democrats. But watch what happened in that with Kevin Spacey. It's actually not really a documentary; it's a fictional movie, but it's shot like a documentary. So that would be one. And then there is an Indian show called Shrikant Bashir that I've been watching on Sony Live, which is on terrorism and so forth. It's a good popcorn watch. Pradeep ji, any
Okay.
recommendations that you have?
No, actually, from the literature field, I'm being the national coordinator of Kochi International Book Festival. Today, there was an announcement of ONV Group Award. ONV Group's award was because this time award is Dr. M. Lilavati. So I recommend Dr. Lilavati's this news I want to share. And also, because recently there were no other movie release of because of COVID. Mm. Okay, and the one movie I want to recommend is Ambili,
Ambuli.
where Ambili. That's
Okay.
a movie where about love, passion, understanding, and understanding people, understanding the culture, and understanding the
Fascinating.
traditions.
Yes.
Tradition.
See, this is exactly why I have this, because I can assure you, if the people are not native speakers of that language, 95% of them have not heard movies in specific regional languages. But since we've started
Mm.
doing this, so many people have
Mm.
recommended these wonderful movies,
Okay.
TV shows, and stuff. And in the age
Mm.
of YouTube and streaming, we want people to listen to more and more of these. So thank you so
Mm.
much, Pradeep ji, for
Thank
joining us.
you.
This was
Thank
a
you.
great discussion, and we'll have another one very soon. Hopefully, doing a preview
Sure.
of the 2021 elections in Kerala.
Exactly. Exactly. Right.
And thank
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for joining us on Mindmakers. We'll be back next week with more, maybe sooner than next week. But stay tuned. Please subscribe to YouTube, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and let us know what more we can add to the broadcast. Thank you, guys.